When I tell you that I am so excited for this video, oh my God. So I am a huge fan of watching Reddit stories on YouTube. I love like Two Hot Takes and Call Me Chris and Smosh. I am obsessed. My husband will tell you I am always watching Reddit stories and I love them, but something's missing. I've never seen a creator give their takes on Reddit stories from a manifestation standpoint. I've never seen it, not even from a guest co-host. So that's what I bring to the table. That's going to be a little bit different. So if you are interested in manifesting and if you love juicy Reddit stories, you are in the right place. Let me tell you. So let's get into these juicy Reddit stories with a manifestation twist. And for any of you who may be seeing me for the first time, hi, my name is Coach Katie. I am the creator and owner of Manifest Best, and I help people manifest predictably using science and psychology. So if you are looking to manifest love, money, well-being, or anything else, visit manifest-best.com for courses, coaching, and meditations to help get you what you want in just about 30 days. But now, on with the video. Our first story comes from r/relationship advice, and it is only 17 hours old. It's titled, "My wife, 29 female, went through my phone behind my 29 male back and deleted all my screenshots and conversations. How do I go about all of this?" Last night while I was in the shower and went to walk our friend's dog, my wife went through my phone and found 5 months worth of evidence that I have kept hidden. We were separated for a few months and she decided to move back in around the holidays. We have had nothing but issues, so I have been taking screenshots of our conversations, pictures of things that she broke, her pills she thought about ODing on, and some videos. She asked me why I had all of this hidden, and I told her that it was just in case we got a divorce. She then deleted all of the stuff that I had hidden, deleted our conversations on my phone and on her phone so I wouldn't be able to redo everything I have done. Luckily, I sent everything to a family member and I told her I didn't send it to anyone. I had also opened a note on my phone dating back 5 months when all of this happened. She hasn't found that yet, but I went ahead and sent a copy over to family just in case. I see my therapist tomorrow morning and I'll talk to him about everything going on. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, this is a very juicy story to start off with. I really wish I could ask, what is she saying that is so terrible that you feel like it's evidence? But we do get a little bit of information. There's pictures of things that she broke. So she is being physically destructive and that she's thinking of unaliving herself with her medication, which is absolutely horrendous. I think we can kind of get the picture that this is not a healthy relationship at all. So I'm really curious, first of all, why they separated, right? Because they said that they separated a few months ago. So what was the separation initially about? And then why did you get back together? Because you said that she moved back in around the holidays, but it seems like she really shouldn't have, because nothing has been going well. You said that everything since she's moved in has been going terribly. So much so that you have to compile all of this evidence. So here's my advice to OP. Listen, OP, you've already decided that you're getting a divorce. So if you are new to my channel, let me give you a little insight on manifesting. So we always manifest based on our beliefs and who we are being. You're always going to get an exact match in your outside world for who you are inside. Always. And again, that's based on your beliefs and your identity. So you clearly believe that you're getting a divorce. You're acting like it. You're keeping all of this evidence. You're sending it off to family, which you can't undo, by the way. Once you start talking down about your spouse to the people around you, you can't take that back. They're always going to have that image of them in their minds. You can't undo that. Which you shouldn't be silent if your relationship is toxic, like this one clearly is. You should be telling other people, but that's something you can't take back. So your family is always going to view her as this psychotic person who breaks objects and threatens to unalive herself. That's always going to be the image that they have, and they're never going to be supportive of your relationship going forward. Now, the fact that you guys are in such a bad place that she can't even talk to you about these things, she sees them in your phone, and instead of asking you, hey, why do you have all of this stuff in your phone? Can we talk about it? She just goes ahead and deletes it. She clearly does not care about your safety. She doesn't care about your thoughts or your feelings. And that's very clear because she's using unalive as a means to manipulate you. This is clearly a very unhealthy relationship. You guys should have stayed separated. You should not have had her move back in. So clearly she has somewhere else that she can go because you guys were not living together for a few months. Have her go back there. Let's read some of the top comments. This relationship doesn't sound healthy. 728 upvotes. Yeah, clearly. Clearly. Okay. And by the way, that's a lot of upvotes because the original post only has 1.6 thousand upvotes because it is, again, only 17 hours old. And the comment below that says, with every comment, it gets worse and worse, and yet he hasn't done anything about it. Right. Because the comment below that says, you'd be surprised what people can adapt to. I was in a bad relationship, or rather it went bad within the years. And when I eventually talked about it to a friend, they told me I should end it. I just had no clue. Right. So that's what I'm saying. This guy has already decided in his mind that it's over. He wants a divorce, but for whatever reason, he's not taking that step. And so that's when we're going to get into some manifesting. How did you get in this situation in the first place? So it's very clear to me that you lack secure boundaries. You don't have the type of self-respect, the baseline, bare minimum level of self-respect that is needed in order for you to have a healthy relationship with anybody. And that's because you're either not noticing the red flags or you're ignoring them because you're so afraid of losing this person. You're so afraid of being alone. You're so afraid of the stigma of divorce, whatever it is. So you definitely have some really limiting beliefs about yourself. Some people really have this perspective that if you're not married by age 30, that you're a lost cause. And what a crazy belief that is. So I don't know what limiting beliefs you have, but you really believe that if this relationship doesn't work out, it's a bad thing, when the exact opposite is actually the truth. Oh my gosh, okay, hold on. Here's a comment that says, your post history is wild. Just leave. A divorce is a lawsuit. Start acting accordingly. Oh my God, okay, this one is from 2 months ago from the same poster. Am I the a-hole that I feel I'm under house arrest by my wife? Bro, just by the title. Holy crap. Long story short, my wife of almost 10 years. That's your mistake, buddy. So almost 10 years and you're 30, married as an infant. And she was a teenager. She's 29. So 10 years ago, she was 19. So you literally married a teenager when you yourself were only 20. And yeah, that's an infant as far as relationship goes. You should never, ever, ever be married at such a young age. Your brain is not developed. This is insane. This is so insane. But anyways, we can't change the past. So let's keep reading. My wife of almost 10 years wanted a separation. So she wanted it. That's interesting. Again, this points to you're not setting boundaries. You're not having consequences for her actions. You're not recognizing red flags soon enough. You're letting her end things. She's the one that wanted the separation. You should have been wanting the separation because you should have been recognizing the red flags, setting healthy boundaries, and following through with consequences. But you're not doing those things because you don't feel worthy, or you feel like you're too old, or nobody else is going to love you. You have some real serious limiting beliefs that need to get worked on. And it's not even about her. It's not even about her. Sorry, I'll finish reading this post in just a second. But this is the problem, you guys. It's never about the other person. You cannot fix the problems that you have in relationships by simply getting out of the relationship. That's not going to fix anything. Granted, you should still get out of the relationship, but that alone is not going to fix anything. Because if you don't make those interchanges for yourself, your next partner is going to be exactly like them, or worse, or maybe slightly better. But it's going to be that same cycle, that same toxic cycle of your partner crosses your boundaries and there's no consequences, and you stick with them because you feel inadequate inside. You have to work on that. You have to work on that, or you're never going to have a healthy relationship, and you're going to be alone forever, still feeling inadequate. And you're going to get stepped on by other people in your life, friends, family. Yeah, your therapist is not. I wonder how long you've been seeing your therapist, because I don't think you're seeing enough improvement. But all right, let's get into the post. So long story short, my wife of almost 10 years wanted a separation, but wants it to be like nothing is going on. So she wants me to pretend that she is on a trip or house sitting. She moved out November 10th to her parents' house. Okay, she can go back to her parents' house. Except she monitors me. Good Lord. We share a location. She goes over our bank account multiple times a day. I can't go out to eat, and I have to eat at home. She goes through my phone almost every time we're together. I can't be spontaneous and go do stuff because that's a trigger to her. I'm not allowed to talk to anyone about our relationship. She's so abusive. She goes over my work schedule and requests more days to work. She doesn't work due to health issues. If I get cash and tell her, she takes it and uses it for other things. I can't have anyone of the opposite gender over at the apartment. If I want to go out, I have to tell her weeks ahead of time to be able to do it. And I'm limited to seeing friends because she wants me to give her all of my attention. So she wants all your attention, but she wants a separation. This is insane. If there's any half nude women on my social media, she blocks them. Okay, well, that's the only reasonable one I've seen so far. She blocks them on my phone. If there's anyone who shows interest in me, I'm either not allowed to go to that store or I have to block them online. She's had multiple meltdowns since she's moved out, which includes attacking me multiple times, cussing me out, breaking our rings. Okay, that's a felony, depending on how much the ring cost. Broke a ceramic paper towel holder, trying to get me to, oh my God, I can't say this word on YouTube. Trying to get me to pew her or fight her, threatened to have her dad beat me up if I act hyper around her. It turns into, you ruin our days together. I have hurt her in the past, but still having issues with the past and her trusting me. Okay, I don't know what you mean by I have hurt her in the past. I don't know if you mean physically. I don't know if you mean that you cheated. If you cheated and that's why she's acting like this, you don't deserve it. Nobody deserves it. You should have broken up because she clearly can't get over it. If you cheated, she does not trust you, and for good reason, but it's not a relationship that's ever going to work. And still, again, it would never warrant her being abusive to you. Yeah, this is done. This is done. What's really concerning, dude, is that you've posted about this multiple times. Let's go back. There is one from 3 months ago. Oh, you had another separation back in October. So there was one in November and one in October. Yeah, so you've been posting about this for 3 months. And it looks like none of those previous posts really got too much traction. I mean, you got like 50 comments on one of them, 30 comments on another one. So you have had people chiming in and telling you, hey, dude, you need to leave, but you're still not doing it. So you have some really serious issues with your self-esteem. And that's honestly the root of the real problem here. That's, if you believe that you don't deserve to be treated well in a relationship, you're going to manifest a partner who doesn't treat you well. It's not about blame. That's just the hard truth of it. If you believe that you don't deserve to be treated well, that is what you're going to experience. Good luck. I wish you the best. But you got a tough road ahead of you, and you really need to stay single for a while. Look into getting a new therapist as well. All right, let's move on to our next story. This one also comes from r/relationship advice. It is 3 months old. My fiance, 26 female, wants to end our 6-year relationship because I, 33 male, oh God, can't meet her needs. And she's tired of asking, looking for advice on working through resentment. So yeah, let's do the math here really quick. So 26 female, together for 6 years. So you got together when she was 20 and you were 27. Sus. Real sus, dude. I mean, she could have been 19, depending on when your birthdays are. So yeah, a 27-year-old dating a teenager or a freshly not teen. Gross. Gross, weird. Let's keep going though. You're already the a-hole just for that. I know this isn't even a am I the a-hole post, but you are the a-hole. You're creepy. You're weird. Why are you trying to date a literal child? That's so gross. Let's move on. We've been together for 6 years, moved in after 7 months. Weird, creepy. Then the pandemic hit a week later, so we've spent almost our entire relationship living together, much of it in isolation. For most of our relationship, she's been telling me I need to be more assertive, take charge more, be more sociable, make decisions, take initiative, basically be more of a man. I know I've struggled with this. One of her main complaints is that I'm insecure, which is why you tried dating a child. Yeah. But I honestly can't agree with that. I don't get jealous. I don't doubt myself in the ways she thinks I do. Yeah, I make self-deprecating jokes constantly. Yeah, that is how you actually feel, dude. If you make the same type of joke constantly, that is your truth. That is your truth. You just haven't come to terms with it yet. So you clearly have some serious insecurities about yourself. And you thought that dating somebody way younger than you would put you in the same league. Because, yeah, people that are younger than you don't have their crap together as much as somebody who's almost 30 should. So I really have something against age gaps at this age. When somebody's close to being a teenager and there's an age gap like this, yeah, it's weird and creepy. So, but I've always made these jokes about myself ever since I was a kid, but I don't think that makes me genuinely insecure. No, you've been doing it for so long that you can't even recognize what's a joke and what's not anymore. You are very insecure. Of course I have my insecurities, like literally every person on earth, but not in the way she's describing. I'm not sure what this perception comes from, but it's become one of her core issues with me. Back in July, things got really bad between us. We spent a week apart rethinking our relationship. That was my breaking point where I finally admitted I needed help. I went to see a psychiatrist and found out I have depression stemming from untreated ADHD. Bro, yeah, because the self-deprecating jokes are not jokes. That's how you actually feel. Suddenly everything made sense. Why I feel so apathetic, why I couldn't get motivated, why simple decisions felt impossible. I have a lot of empathy for that. And I'm glad that you were able to get help and get a diagnosis. That's great. The thing is, she'd already known something was wrong and had been pushing me to get help for a while, but I tried ADHD medications before, and honestly, they just made me more anxious once the initial euphoria wore off. So I was tired of trying new meds that seemed to make things worse rather than better. So yeah, when you try antipsychotic medication, or any sort of medication that alters your mind, it is incredibly rare that the first brand or whatever that you try, or the second or the third even, is a home run, that it works perfectly. There is a lot of adjustment that comes with it. So don't give up if it doesn't immediately make you feel better. That would be really weird if it immediately was the right combination and the right medication for you. You'd be incredibly lucky. That almost never happens. Since then, I've been in therapy, adjusting my medication, really working on myself, working out, started drumming lessons, and so on. Amazing. I'm really proud of myself. You should be. That's great. We're kind of wired differently. I have ADHD. She was recently diagnosed with GAD. Oh, okay. Generalized anxiety disorder. Okay, so she has anxiety, he has ADHD. I tend to live in the moment, and most of the time, live in the moment means just chill, but I know this is the depression talking. She likes things to be planned, and I wish I planned more. I forget stuff around the house. I'm working on it. She needs structure and someone who just handles things without being reminded, because that's tiring. I get it, I really do. But lately, everything feels like a test that I'm failing. Like, we went to a concert and some drunk host made a dumb joke about her last name at the entrance. I didn't think anything of it. People joke about her name all the time. She's always been cool with it. But later she said I didn't protect her, and that proved that I'm not the secure, stable guy that she needs. At the moment, I honestly didn't see it as a threat. The guy was just a little tipsy and making a dumb joke, nothing aggressive. Here's a theme that I'm seeing with this story, and sorry to keep interrupting the reading, but you have a very warped perception of jokes. When you make jokes about yourself, self-deprecating jokes, you are trying to wipe it off as not real. It doesn't mean anything. And you're doing the same thing with this bouncer guy who made a joke about her, that it's just meaningless. It doesn't mean anything. But deep down it does. And for whatever reason, you're not getting that, even though it's a reoccurring theme in your life. Jokes are not just jokes, especially if they're reoccurring. So you say that people are always making fun of her last name and she's cool with it. Dude, she's clearly not cool with it. And when you make self-deprecating jokes about yourself and it doesn't mean anything, clearly, dude, it means something. So there's a theme there. I thought it was just a dumb joke, nothing aggressive, but she interpreted my lack of reaction as me being insecure and failing to protect her. I also get it. So yesterday she tells me she wants to break up. She says I'm perfect, a wonderful partner, that she's grateful for everything that we lived together, and she knows I'm trying, but that I'd have to become a completely different person for this to work, and she doesn't think that's fair or sustainable. Yeah, sounds like she's right. It sounds like you guys are not a match. I strongly disagree with this. I don't think I need to become someone else. I think the real problem is that we've built up 6 years of resentment and frustration, and now everything I do or don't do gets filtered through that lens. What she's asking for isn't crazy or impossible. I genuinely believe I can be that partner for her without losing myself in the process. Last night we talked and I told her everything. I told her I'm willing to move heaven and earth to meet her needs, that I'm actively working on myself and making real progress. But I also said that for us to move forward, we need to clear out the resentment first. But she says she's really tired of trying. The thing that kills me is we still love each other, like really love each other. We respect each other. We still have good moments together. We still laugh. Yet she's exhausted, and she says that she's not happy with me right now, and that breaks my heart. But there's still so much love here. I want to do anything humanly possible to make this work and make her happy again. I proposed couples therapy. She's taking a few days to think about it. I'm looking for advice from people who have worked through similar situations. What specific steps helped you address years of built-up resentment? For those who've done couples therapy, when one partner is hesitant or exhausted, what made it effective? How do you rebuild when your partner filters everything through a negative lens? What strategies actually worked when you kept talking in circles? So, like I said, we always manifest a direct reflection of our beliefs and who we are being. Your partner is just manifesting you back to you. So here's the thing. You're trying to make all of these changes. You're medicating yourself. You're going to therapy. You said drumming. You're doing like work on yourself, and you're trying to make these big changes. And when I say big changes, I mean big changes. You're trying to downplay them, which is what you do with jokes, right? You really minimize the importance of things by turning it into a joke. And that's what you're doing here as well. You're really trying to minimize the magnitude of the changes that you're trying to make. So you want to be a better planner. You want to be a stronger man, something like that you said. You want to make all these changes, remembering to do things around the house, all these different things that you want to do, but it's hard to do. And it's taking a lot of work. She's exhausted. That's just your exhaustion reflecting back to you. But you're exhausted for making all of these changes. That's where your exhaustion is stemming from. And she's exhausted from you taking a long time to make changes. That's your exhaustion just being reflected back to you. You're exhausted with trying to make all these changes. You're downplaying the magnitude of things, usually with jokes, but also in this instance as well. These are relationship ending things, but you're downplaying them to just like, oh, there's just little changes that I need to make. No, they're relationship ending things. So you're really downplaying the magnitude of things. Why is this happening? It's because you're completely trying to change your identity. You're trying to become somebody completely different, somebody who is proactive, who's type A, who remembers things, who's very manly, who's mentally healthy, however you want to say it. You're trying to go from this to this. You're trying to become a completely different person. And your old identity is really clashing with all of these changes that you're trying to make. Let me tell you one of the reasons why this is happening. It's because you're doing it for her. You're doing it for her. You're doing it to keep her. You're doing it to convince her to stay. You're doing it because you don't want her to leave. Because you have all of these insecurities about yourself, which again, I believe is why you dated somebody so much younger than you. Because you viewed her at being at a less developed stage of life, but you view yourself as being at a less developed stage of life. You're like, I can't even remember to do the dishes, so I need to date somebody on my level who's not as developed in life, however you want to phrase it. This is what you believe about yourself. I'm not saying this about you, but this is what you believe about yourself. That's why you dated somebody so much younger in the first place, and those things haven't actually changed. That's still your identity. You still view yourself as somebody who's not as progressed in life as they should be. You aren't even able to admit that the self-deprecating jokes are actually just how you feel about yourself. You have not even come to terms. You can't even admit it yet. And you can't work on something until you admit it. You haven't even identified it as a problem. You haven't even identified it as a problem yet. So when she's exhausted, it's because you're not even seeing what the problems are. And you're minimizing them like you do with jokes. That's why she's progressing in life, in her thinking, and she feels like the relationship is not, and you're not, because it's true. You're trying to fight your old identity, and it's such a struggle. And again, one of the reasons why it feels like such a struggle is because I don't think you're really doing it for you. I don't think you really want to be this like type A person. You say, I'm perfectly content with just being, but I know that's the depression talking. Well, is it really? Or is she just being critical of who you truly are at your core? And you're trying to make all these really big changes that are stretching your comfort zone too much for you to actually embody that new identity. So if you really want to do these things, first of all, you need to make these changes for you, not as a means to kind of manipulate her into staying. You can't change yourself to convince somebody else to love you. You have to find reasons to love yourself. So work on all those self-deprecating jokes. Those are probably your limiting beliefs. Start work on healing that. And next, you need to take these changes that you really do want to make for yourself, not for her. Identify changes that you really want to make for yourself and take it in small steps. Even if that means that the steps are too small for her and she gets impatient and she leaves. You're still relatively young, and people can break up and get back together. So she doesn't need to sit around and wait while you make these changes. You need to make the changes that you really want to make for yourself. You need to really tap into your own self-love, because what that's going to do is it's going to change your belief system. You're actually going to really truly believe that you love yourself. So you actually are really going to love yourself, which means that you're going to attract a partner that really loves you, and it could be her, but not right now. You got to take a little bit of space in order to do that. And secondly, you need to, again, figure out what changes you really want to make for yourself and make those changes regardless of whether she stays or goes. That's how you know that those are the changes that you really need to make. Think about, what would you want to change about yourself even if she left and never came back? What changes would you want to make just for you? Make those changes. Because when you do, you're either going to manifest her back because you're being a true, authentic version of you and you're making realistic changes that you actually want to make, or she will leave, but you will attract a new partner who genuinely loves this real version of you. So that's my advice. You can do this. It is not impossible. It does not need to take forever, but those are the steps that I would recommend taking if you were my client. All right, let's jump into our next story, again from r/relationship advice. This one is only 10 hours old. It is brand new. I, 27 female, talked to my husband, 28 male, about not spending time alone at his female friend's house for 10 hours multiple times a week. Now he's not talking to me. All right. Hello, all. Basically, the title. My husband has always had female friends at work, but he's only ever hung out with his 2 female friends from high school. We went to high school together. I know them. They know me. We're cool. But recently, 3 to 4 months, he's been hanging out more and more with his female coworker, S, outside of work. He'll spend long periods of time alone at her apartment multiple times a week. It got to the point where he'd be hanging out with S when I was home and available. We talked about that a month ago, and he agreed to prioritize me, which is crazy that even had to be a conversation. Since then, he's been spending time with me when I'm home. But when I'm working or sleeping, I'm a night shift worker, 12-hour shifts. He's over there for 8 to 12 hours. Ooh. I told him Sunday I thought I could be okay with that, but it actually still makes me uncomfortable. Oh, shocker. He framed it that I don't trust him and S. I said it's just a boundary I need. Now he hasn't talked to me more than saying, I don't know and I need time. I started crying about it tonight in front of him. He said, do you want me to stay and talk? And I said, that's up to you. I've said what I need to. It's in your court. He then said, okay then, and walked out to go play video games while I was crying. I don't even know what to do at this point. Oh, girl. Honey. Honey. Wait, hold on. This is your husband. Oh my God. Okay. This is terrible. I hate this for you. Girl, I hate this for you so much. So he's cheating. He's cheating. He's cheating. It's not funny, but it's very obvious, and I'm so sorry that you haven't come to terms with it yet, but he is cheating on you. And the reason that I know that is because he got so defensive, and he tried to gaslight you, and he tried to deflect, and he tried to switch the blame and put the blame on you and say that you just don't trust him. This is absolutely terrible. So if he actually cared about you, And if he was not cheating, if he was being faithful, if he did prioritize you, he wouldn't still be doing this, right? Oh my God, girl, this is so bad. Yeah, he is definitely cheating on you. And the fact that he won't admit it, the fact that he won't come clean, again, he's like gaslighting. Sounds like kind of stonewalling you a little bit. Like he's not really talking to you about it. He's just saying, okay, then. And then he asks, do you want me to stay and talk? And you said, I told you what I need. The ball is in your court. And when the ball is in his court, he says, okay, then, and goes and plays video games while you sit alone and cry. He's made it very clear. He doesn't care about your feelings. He doesn't care about your boundaries. He doesn't respect them. He is dating this other girl. They might be already physically together. And he's trying to have his cake and eat it too. You're the backup plan at this point. You're pretty much the other woman. His interest is with this other girl. That's where he wants to be. And that's where he's going to go. And the only reason that he wouldn't go to her is if she rejects him. And then he can fall back to you, his safety net. That's really what's going on here. You're the backup plan. You're the safety net. You are plan B. I believe that if you are cheating for a significant period of time or a significant portion of your relationship, can you come back from it? Sure. Should you? No. No. I believe that if somebody cheats, if it's like an isolated incident, if it's something that only happens a few times, or it's only with one person for a short period of time, if you both really want to work on it, you probably can. But if it's something that is ongoing for a long time like this, there's just no point. It's too much work to try to come back from that. And it's just not worth your time or energy, in my opinion. At that point, it becomes serial cheating, and that is abuse. It's emotional abuse, because obviously they're messing with your head. They're lying to you. I don't know, the way to say this on YouTube, intimate abuse. Can we say that? It's intimate abuse because you're not consenting to that type of relationship. If you have both agreed on a monogamous relationship and you believe that the relationship is monogamous, maybe you're not using protection and things like that, but unbeknownst to you, your partner is cheating with somebody else. You're not consenting to that. So you're having a non-consensual intimate relationship. And that's disgusting. And you should never, ever be with somebody who does that to you. In my opinion, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to try to come back from that. There are instances where if the partner comes clean, if they are the one telling you, you don't have to hear it through friends or family. You don't have to find out by going through their phone. If they are forthcoming and they're honest with you and they say, hey, I messed up. I understand if you just want to end things, but I would like to work on things if you're open to it. And what does that look like? That's something that I believe you can come back from. But this person is not even admitting it. He's not even admitting that he's cheating. This is just not worth it. It's not worth it. You have to end things. You're so young, honey. Oh my God, you're 27. You are just starting. You're like a toddler as far as relationships go. Like, I don't mean to like infantilize. I don't know the word, you guys. I don't mean to infantilize. Good Lord. Anybody in these posts, but genuinely, if you are a teenager in a relationship, you are a fetus. You are a fetus as far as relationships are concerned. You are not even born yet. You're a fetus. If you are in your early 20s, you are a baby. You are an infant. You are an infant as far as relationships. Once you are in that 25 to 30 range, you're like a tween, a toddler to a tween. You know, things can mature quickly once your brain is fully developed. From that 25 to 30 year period, things can progress pretty quickly. I don't believe that most people are capable of having a fully adult relationship until you are 30 years old at a minimum. I think 30 to 35, That's that sweet spot for most people. I'm speaking obviously in major generalizations here, but for most people, you're not truly ready for marriage or deeply serious relationships until you're at least 30 years old. That's when you really start being ready to handle things like this. Not cheating, but when you really start to be able to handle serious things in relationships. That's my belief, and that's based on, myself, my friends, but also everything that I've seen after talking to over 10,000 people in my business. So anyways, I'm getting off track here. Listen, honey, he's cheating on you. You need to leave. He's not admitting to it. You gotta go. Okay. And I understand how difficult that is because you don't have like the closure. You don't have solid proof, but you don't need solid proof that he's cheating. You have solid proof that he doesn't respect you. You're crying. He walks away. You say the ball's in your court. I've told you what I need and he's not giving it to you. You've tried to set boundaries about not seeing this girl and he's not respecting that. He is cheating on you, but you don't need proof of that. You are bending your own boundaries in ways that you're not comfortable with. You said, I tried to be okay with him seeing her, which you're not, and you shouldn't be. You're giving him these concessions that are disrespectful to yourself. So step one is leave him and don't go back. But how did you manifest this? Listen, we manifest everything, including cheating. Okay? Everything is a manifestation. Like it or not. It's not about blame. It's just science. It is. So we manifest everything. So I would, before trying to get in a relationship with anybody else, look at how you manifested this situation. Clearly, you're letting him cross boundaries that you're not comfortable with. Because you said, I tried to be okay with him going, but I'm just going to see her, but I'm just not okay with it. So why are you allowing yourself to be made uncomfortable? Why are you stuffing down your feelings of suspicion and, all of this for him, for anybody else to walk all over you? Are there issues with self-esteem? Are there issues with feeling like somebody else is not going to choose you? Are there issues with feeling too old when, again, you're like a little tween as far as relationships go? You're definitely not too old by any means. But what limiting beliefs do you hold about yourself that are causing you to let somebody walk all over you and degrade you and cheat on you? Do you believe that you're not the one who's chosen? Do you believe that other women are better than you? You're not enough. You're inadequate. None of those things are probably true. I'm sure that you have a whole lot going for you. And there's probably nothing seriously wrong with you that would discount you from having a beautiful, happy, healthy relationship. You're probably completely worthy and adequate to have that type of relationship. But why don't you believe that about yourself? Because you clearly don't believe those things. Otherwise, you wouldn't be putting up with this. So work on those things. Work on feeling chosen, feeling prioritized, valuing yourself, having self-love. Do all of those things after you get divorced and before you get into another relationship. But that's my advice. Let's read some other top comments. Top comment is, I'm not sure that you can trust them as much as you think you can. She doesn't think that she can. Spending that much time at a friend's house, basically all the time that he's not with you, is weird. Yes, I agree. Even if it was a male friend and he's a straight dude, spending that much time away from you is just kind of weird. Throwing a tantrum about when asked not to do that is even weirder. Leaving the room while you're crying to go play video games is cruel. I suspect he may be cheating on you. Lord Mwahaha, I love that name. Whew, you're going real easy on her. Why are you like, he may be cheating on you? Bro, he's definitely cheating. Even if it's just emotional right now. He definitely wants to be with that other girl romantically. Yeah, that's what the comment below says. That's where my mind goes to, if not physically, then emotionally. Exactly. And I feel like physically is just a matter of time. Exactly. Comment below that. Even if he isn't cheating, this is not a partner and not a behavior of someone who loves you and honestly doesn't even like you. I'm sorry. You deserve better. Sorry for being blunt, but I think it's because you're in the middle of it. It's hard to see. You need to hear it. Very true. Exactly. This is exactly what I've been saying. I love it when Reddit agrees with me. Here, okay, this is what I've been looking for. The comment below that. He's absolutely cheating. Girl, yes. He is cheating. He is cheating. But below that, forget cheating. He simply doesn't like or respect her. That's grounds enough for divorce. Exactly. You guys are all correct. Yeah. All right. Well, I hope that you get those papers signed. I hope that you find a wonderful lawyer. I've heard that if you contact every lawyer in the greater area of your city, once you've had a consultation, a free consultation with a lawyer, they cannot work with your spouse. So if you call every single lawyer in the city and get a free consultation with everyone, he will basically be blacklisted and he won't be able to get a lawyer in your city. So make things real difficult for him, just like he did for you. That's my advice. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me for these Reddit stories today. I'm going to be doing videos like this a lot more often. This is just way too fun. And I hope that this is helpful. If you relate to any of these stories, I am so sorry to hear that. But I hope that my very blunt advice helps push you in the right direction. Again, if you're looking for one-on-one advice with your situation, you can check out manifest-best.com for one-on-one coaching to help. Just be aware that if you are looking for one-on-one coaching, you will have to be enrolled in one of my high-level programs before you can enter coaching. So either the full reunion program, if you're trying to get back together with an ex, or a friends with benefits, a situationship, friend zone situation, you're going to need to be in the full reunion program before you can enroll in one-on-one coaching. Or if you're trying to manifest things like well-being, new love with somebody you have not met yet, more money, that's a big one too, you're going to need to be enrolled in the Manifest Anything workbook before you qualify for one-on-one coaching. So those are prerequisites, either the Manifest Anything workbook or the full reunion program. Make sure that you're joined in one of those first, and then you can enter for one-on-one coaching, so that we can go over your situation together. And I can give you advice like this that is personalized to your specific situation. So if that sounds like something that would be helpful, check out manifest-best.com. But I will see y'all in the next video. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. This is like the most fun video I filmed so far. So I can't wait for the next one, and happy manifesting.